Okay, hey guys, welcome to my very first YouTube video. Cue the intro. So it is dark. It's like a little bit past midnight. I've been trying to record this and get this up for like the past 2 weeks, and it's actually been really difficult for me to like find a space and a time for me to record that feels comfortable and genuine. It just happens to be right now, and I talk to you guys mostly in my car. Oh my god, my steering wheel's like peeling, or not peeling, but like worn down. I need to get a cover. For some reason, talking to you guys on YouTube just felt so much bigger and like heavier, and I really couldn't understand why. I think YouTube just kind of has like a stigma of being more produced and like just like more production to it, and I just feel more comfortable when it's just kind of feeling like I'm talking to my best friend, you know, and that's what I've always wanted it to feel like. So if that means I'm recording it at midnight in my car in the rain, because that's how I would talk to my best friend, then that's what we're doing. And I'll get a cover for my steering wheel, I promise. Anybody who's meeting me through this YouTube video, which would be actually insane, but if you are meeting me through this YouTube video, I'm Audrey. My friends call me Dre. And I've been on this fitness, wellness, healthness, greatness, whatever the fuck you want to call it, journey for the past 7 years now. And I went into depth on my Instagram about some recent heaviness that I went through. Now, I really want to keep this channel very lighthearted. I'm very much a person that likes to I don't like to be sad. I don't like to dwell on things. I like to be happy. I like to laugh. I like to joke around. So I really want this channel to be a good balance between like some serious stuff, but then also just like us having fun, trying on new gym clothes, trying on new recipes, trying out new workouts, just sitting in the parking lot at midnight, chit-chatting with y'all about whatever the heck we want to talk about. So I really just want it to be a good mix. It's not just gonna be all heavy stuff. I'm gonna kick it off by starting with what I've been through in the past year. I kind of went in depth on it a little bit in this Instagram post. I'm gonna see if I can learn how to can I clip it and put it right here? That'd be kind of lit. If I can, then pretend I'm pointing to that post. So that's the post that I kind of went in depth about it. Basically, beginning of 2023, my parents split up. I went through a family death. My ex-boyfriend and I were having a lot of issues. I was having a lot of anxiety attacks. I had recently gotten a new job that required me to travel a lot, and I was somebody at the moment who was very attached to my routine, and that kind of got stripped away from me. So that was really difficult. In that time, I was having a lot of anxiety attacks because of that. And then my ex cheated on me. We're not going to get into that because some of y'all watching this may know what you know. You may think you know what you know, and that's whatever. And this video isn't even about that. But I went through that breakup. We had been together for 6 years, which was, just crazy. Just a crazy time to end such a long relationship, and such a crazy way to end it. And then I went all summer pretty much in anything that would distract me, alcohol, parties, boys, you name it. I really didn't realize that that's what I was doing, although probably anybody could guess, but I thought that I was dealing with it really well. I thought I was being really nonchalant about it. And my body was like, girl, you're attacking this in all of the wrong ways. A couple months into the fall, after I had this whole crazy summer, my sister moved to Spain, and my dad had moved out earlier in the year, and my ex-boyfriend was now my ex-boyfriend. So those 3 people are my biggest rocks in life, and I felt as though I lost my rocks all within really what was 6 months. And that didn't even include all the other tribulations that I had been going through that year. And so emotionally, I like pushed all that stuff down because, as I said in my Instagram post, I really didn't want anyone to think that all these things that was happening to me was like affecting me. I guess that was my ego at the time, or just like how I decided to like cope with it at the time. It was not healthy, and my body knew that, and so it reacted in the way that I described in my Instagram post. Again, I'm just gonna keep referring to it because it's a really good like recap. But basically, I gained almost 20 pounds, and I got a chronic acne all over my face, and like literally all over my face, like literally all over my cheeks, all over my forehead, like all over. It was really, really bad. And to have gone through something like that, like, and still throughout that entire time, I still like hid it. Like, I didn't want anyone to know that I was going through all of these like crazy tribulations, like crazy time. I was like, no, I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna pretend like it doesn't affect me. I'm gonna pretend like no one can notice. And I don't know if anyone noticed, like no one, unless you were like right in front of me and you could literally see the acne on my face and literally see the way like my clothes was fitting me. I thought in my mind that I was like hiding it really well. And I don't know if I was, but that's just like how I felt. And that's just kind of how I coped with it in the time. I was like, I'm just going to pretend like it's not, like, I'm just going to pretend like what's happening to me is not happening to me. And again, not a healthy way to deal with these things at all. So basically this is all like the first 3/4 of, this is like all like the first 3/4 of like 2023 into the fall. Come November, I kind of got fed up with everything, especially with my acne, because I just felt like so gross. And you know, you have to face yourself first thing in the morning, and last thing you do before you go to bed, you face yourself every single day. And I have spent so much of my life like really unhappy with that person, and for many reasons, like through the seasons, like many reasons. There's a little rhyme for y'all just to keep you entertained. Are we still here? Wake up, y'all. But yeah, so I spent a lot of time really unhappy with that image, and I had gotten to a point during my relationship where I felt really proud of that image. And while I was, you know, right before the breakup and during the breakup and during this year, that started to slip away. And for many reasons, right? Physically, emotionally, mentally, just like my stability wasn't there, my routine wasn't there. I was spending my time doing things that like really didn't identify with. I just didn't want to feel shit. Anyway, come fall, I go and get my blood work done. The results came back clean, except for my liver enzymes were kind of high, which how could they not have been high with the amount of alcohol I was drinking? Like, it was pretty bad. Got on medication for my acne. I went to a dermatologist, got medication for my acne. That kind of killed the alcohol portion of it, because you can't really be on alcohol when you're taking certain acne medication. Be on alcohol. You can't really be consuming alcohol when you're on certain acne medication. So that kind of like took everything to like a halt, right? I'm now sober right now for a couple months. Like, I have to be sober for this medication to kick in and do what it's got to do. And so I did that. And in those months, like November to January, where I was sober for my medication, was when I feel like really started to like spend time with myself, like in my head, and think about like the past couple months, think about, you know, what the fuck happened this year, and like how have I been dealing with it, and what is going on, because I was sober for the first time, and I don't think I had ever really been sober before that, like fully, you know. It was crazy those couple months. I was like, whoa, Audrey, like, what are you doing? Like, really, what are you doing? Like, what are you spending your time doing? Like, what are you spending your money on? What are you like, you're all this hard work and stuff that you put into your health and your fitness and everything, you're just kind of throwing it out the window right now. And at first I was really hard on myself about that, but after some time, especially like after the new year and after I turned 28, after some time I really started to, you know, just be nice to myself, because I'm like, I was going through a lot and I chose to deal with it the only way I knew how to in the moment. And that's okay, you know, like I did spend a lot of time cultivating this like super healthy fitness lifestyle journey, whatever, and I was really proud about that. But you know, fitness, health and wellness and all that stuff, it's a roller coaster. You know, it has its ups and its peaks where your physique is just on point and your nutrition is on point and your workouts are on point. And then you know, especially when you do it for a long time, I've been doing it for 7 years now, which is crazy. You go through phases, and I can attest because I just went through one. You go through phases where it just doesn't fucking matter. Like, you're like, I don't fucking care what I'm eating. I don't fucking care what I'm drinking. I don't care at all, you know, about my workouts. I'm just showing up to keep the image that I'm like, you know, a gym goer and I'm still doing this shit. And that's what I did. And you know what, like, it's okay that I went through that, and it's okay that that's how I chose to cope with it. And it's okay that I felt that I had to hide what I was going through at the time. It's okay. And in my Instagram post that I made, again, referencing it again, just go check it out by now. Like, just, you know, well, not right now, stay right here, but at the end, like, go check it out if you haven't. But basically, in the images, I post my transformation photos, where I have, you know, I'm already down almost 10 pounds. My acne has pretty much cleared up with my medication. And, you know, I'm just mentally in such an amazing place right now where I feel like I can actually share and talk about what I went. Sorry, I am actually melting, but story time is almost over. Then we're going to get into the Q&As and we'll be done. It's like we're in a meeting or something. I don't know. Forget what I was saying. So I feel like I'm mentally in a space right now that I can actually talk about it, and I can actually like look back and not laugh at it, but just kind of be like, holy shit, dude, like we really just fought our way through our hardest year of our life. I'm just proud of the fact that like I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, because for a minute there it really felt like, is this gonna be forever? I just really felt like I wasn't sure where things were gonna go, and I'm just so happy that I can finally like look at that time, which was last year, you know, and just like wow, like we really went through that, and here we are. So here we are, you know. I'm gonna do another video, I think, talking about like how I started my fitness journey and all that. That's another intro video, and that's a whole nother probably 20 minutes or so. But I asked you guys if you wanted to ask me any questions, and that wasn't because I want to share more about this and like I just feel the need to like everybody ask me about my life. It's not like that. I just really genuinely felt that maybe there's some people that are going through something similar, and I wish that while I was going through what I was going through, that I felt like I wasn't alone. You know, like I would have loved to feel like I'm not crazy and like I'm not like going through all these things at the same time. And maybe I was the only one at the time, but even just knowing that there was somebody that was also going through like similar stuff maybe like would have helped a lot. And so if I can be that person for someone else, like that would, I don't even have to know. I just like just sharing my stuff, and if someone resonates with it and takes it with them and they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm not alone, and like listening to me talk about my stuff makes them feel better, then that's enough for me. You know what I mean? I do have my questions here. So anyway, let's get into the motherfucking questions. Oh, one of the first ones was, how do you stay motivated on those tough days? This is something I definitely struggle with. So this one's more generic, doesn't really have to do with what I was going through, but I will say that one thing I'm proud of is that as I was going through all of this, I was still showing up to the gym every day. I didn't feel great every time I showed up. 99% of the time I didn't feel great, but I showed up. I remember talking to my friends, my coworkers, about how embarrassed and sad I would feel because in the gym, going with no makeup with all my acne, because I literally remember saying I felt like a monster. Like I was scared to look at people because I was scared to scare people with how I looked. Like it's so insane. But despite it feeling that way, despite of how my clothes was fitting tighter and tighter because I was gaining weight, I still showed on those days. Honestly, what I would think about when I would wake up is I would look at myself in the mirror, I would be unhappy with what I would see, and that alone, the thought would cross my mind, like, why are you going? Like, what is the point? Like, just stay home, like, you feel terrible, like, what is the point? But then I would remind myself of my goals. So in this aspect, like in these moments when you're feeling like unmotivated, it's important, this is why it's important to have some type of goal. It doesn't have to be super specific, it's better if it is specific, but just any type of goal really, because I would think about my goals, right? I would think about, I guess really in this time is actually always to like stay in shape, stay healthy, and like stay consistent. That was my goal, right? So I would wake up in the morning, I'd be like, why am I even going? Why am I even doing this? Like, I feel terrible. But that little voice in my head was like, you gotta stay consistent. Like, you're never gonna reach your goals if you don't go. Like, you're one step closer to reaching your goals if you go. And that alone was enough for me to be like, okay, yeah, like I may not have the best session, I may not have the feel the best in this session, like it may be ass, but that's better than no session at all. And also, like when I wouldn't go to the gym, like it's almost like it would bully me all day. Like all day long I'd have in the back of my head, like, you didn't even go to the gym. Like I would go to like eat something or like lay down or like chill, and in the back of my head my mind is like, do you even deserve to lay down right now, because you didn't even go to the, like, I'm like my own bully, to be honest, which I don't know if that's healthy or not now that I'm saying it out loud. I don't know, that works for me. Like I literally bully myself. Like I'll be laying there and I'm like, you don't even deserve to do this right now because you didn't even go to the gym. You know, I make the going to the gym or going or doing whatever it is that you need to do to reach your goal, like I make that like so high on my priority list. Like if someone's like, oh, let's hang out, and it gets in the way of whatever time I said I was going to go to the gym, I can't hang out with you because I'm prioritizing what I said I was going to do. Goals help with that, but also like boundaries help with that. You're not going to be motivated all the time. I wasn't motivated for like 6 months, but I was showing up because discipline kicked in, goals kicked in, and my bullying kicked in. So I don't know if that's helpful. I'm not saying bully yourself, but like that's kind of what worked for me. Okay, another one is, how are you coping with everything now? Also, proud of you for being vulnerable. I did get a lot of message of people who were surprised by my vulnerability, but also very inspired. And that's the freaking point. You know, if I can help other people get to the point where they feel like they can be authentically and genuinely themselves, mic drop. Like that's what I'm here for. That's what I want. So anyway, how are you coping with everything now? Right now, like I think I'm kind of done coping, you know? Like I was coping and I guess I was in like heavy survival mode, but not gonna lie to you, right now, like I feel like I'm finally starting to heal. I feel like I can finally think about things and think about what happened, and I don't want to say laugh because that sounds disrespectful, but just kind of like be like, oh, like that was crazy, you know, and just kind of brush it off. Like this past year definitely like was trials and tribulations to the maximum, but right now I feel very calm with myself. I feel very proud of myself. I feel very motivated and excited about what the future is holding for me. It feels good, it feels great, it feels, you know, big. I don't know what it is exactly, but right now I feel like something was blocking me for a long time, and I had to go through what I went through in order to like just kind of get all the gunk out. And now I feel like, you know, I'm a clean sponge. You know, like when you take a dirty sponge and you like rinse it out and all the dirty water comes out and then it's like just kind of laying there all dry. I feel like the dry sponge, you know, I'm chilling. My work is done. Like the dirty water's out. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but thank you for your support, and thank you for acknowledging my vulnerability and for checking in on me. Another one said, I've had both happen to me when I was young, so I'd like to know how you deal with it now. With that, I'm assuming is the breakup and my parents splitting up. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I dealt with that last year, I truly was so heartbroken. I didn't know who to talk to, you know, because like I feel like when you're growing up, Granted, I'm a grown-ass person, but still, like, the people you go to when you're going through hardships is like your partner or your parents. And so to kind of go through both of them kind of melting away at the same time was insane. And I want to say that I dealt with it in a positive way. I thought I was, but I wasn't. It was eating at me, and I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. And I kind of turned to distractions. I had to give anybody advice on how to deal with it. I would say try not to distract yourself. I would say, and it's ugly, and it's ugly and it's gross. It's kind of like popping a pimple, but you gotta sit in it. And I would recommend no drinking. Like, I know that's kind of can sound dramatic, like, oh, I can pace myself, like I don't have to not drink at all. But hear me out. Because when I completely cut it out for real, it, like, even in moderation, like, you're still having it like it's different when you don't drink at all. And trust me when I say that when I went through that period, I had the most clarity I've ever had, and I was able to really, like, go through in my head what I was going through, really reflect, really sit down with myself, really feel the weight of things. It's the only way to get through it, is to feel the weight of things. And my second piece of advice is don't keep it all to yourself. Like, I did that. I wanted to be, you know, I don't know what I wanted. Maybe I thought my ego again in this situation, probably, but I was just like, I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I didn't think I could talk to anybody about it. I didn't feel right. I felt like a burden. It just was so heavy. I thought I had to handle it on my own. And my piece of advice is try not to do that. Like, I'm not saying you have to have somebody to talk to, but if you can find somebody to talk to about this stuff and, like, not feel like a burden and just, I don't want to say dump on them, but just have somebody to talk to about what you're going through is so important. And I'm really bad about that because I always feel like a burden to people. That's just my own personal flaw, but I'm sure there's people that want to be there for you, and I'm sure that if I had reached out, people would have been there for me had I wanted that. And I just chose to be the lone soldier that could do it all, and I don't recommend. So I hope that answers that. And then, how does it affect you to have loved ones split up and siblings leave at this age? Again, I never been so heartbroken in my life. Like, I never felt so shattered. And I know that sounds crazy because I'm a grown adult, you know, like, you're fine. You have your own life. You have your own friends. You have your own stuff. But like I said, those people were my everything. They were the people I felt like I could be myself around the most and be authentically me 100% of the time. I'm sweating so much. Okay. This person said, how did you stay so consistent? I struggle with keeping myself accountable. Again, I'm going to revert to the first question I responded to, which was the discipline, the goal setting, and the bullying. And I'm not saying that works for everyone, and I'm not even saying that it's the healthiest way to do it. I'm just saying that's how I do it, and that's kind of what has worked for me. I'm a huge bully to myself. But okay, I'm going to do one more, guys, because I'm actually, like, dying out here. This last one is, what did you do to take care of yourself when you were feeling the raw emotions of what had happened? So this is a good question. The past, like, 6 months, I think, is when I really started to take care of myself and really feel the emotions and feel the feels. And again, sobriety is a big one. I'm sober right now, been sober for a month now, and I can't express enough how when you're going through a tough situation, how much clarity and, like, understanding and kindness you have for yourself. My biggest thing is you have to be kind to yourself. Like, don't beat yourself up. Like, don't make yourself feel stupid for feeling your feelings. Like, they're real, they're there, and you know, you deserve the space to feel what you feel. And that's a big thing that I didn't allow myself to do at the beginning. I kept drowning my feelings, hiding them, distracting myself, and I wish I had sat with them sooner. So that's one of the biggest things I've done recently. And then also just, like, not like no boys, no dating apps, no distractions. Like, I'm talking like no distractions, like no alcohol, no partying, no none of this. Like, focus on yourself, build yourself, water yourself, listen to your favorite music, you know, put on your favorite clothes, go to the gym if that's what you like to do, or whatever hobby you have. Like, focus on your hobby, focus on your craft, focus on your friends, focus on your family. And that's how I started to feel like more and more like myself again, more and more back to like a confident, happy Audrey, was when I took away all these like superficial things that people say are going to make you happy that actually don't. Like, they really don't. They distract you for a little bit from what's going on, and then you feel absolutely like trash. It's when you focus on the things I just said that you truly start to feel like yourself again, and you truly start to like, it's like if somebody pulled you out of the ground, if you were a flower, and you are starting to water your seed again, and now you're like starting to peer up through the soil. And that's how I feel right now. And that's what I would say to anybody like going through something similar or just trying to find themselves. Like, that's my advice. If you watch this all the way through, like, I truly have no words. Like, that's insane. If you watched it all the way through, I don't expect anyone to watch it all the way through. I talk way too much, but this is my first, I wanted the first video to be kind of like one-on-one, best friend, authentic, chilling, talking, late night vibes, and that's what this is. So I'm excited to get to have more fun with you guys on this channel and just do more stuff. I have so many video ideas, and just kind of be goofy and funny, and we'll talk about the heavy stuff every now and then. But yeah, that's it. Good night, guys. Be safe out there. Much love. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, watching, whatever. I don't know how YouTubers outro, but insert outro.